Okay everyone, on this tutorial I'm going to show you how to draw your maze onto the top face of your sheet of MDF. Okay, what you must do to start off with is create a new sketch on the top. And we're basically going to be using a series of these 2D drawing tools to create our maze. I've got a bit of a circular maze design I'm going to draw, so I'm going to be using the circle tool predominantly. And I need to find the center of this square, and what we can do is if we put our mouse over on one of the lines, the center of a line is always shown with a green dot. And if I trace that down, you'll see a very faint line coming, and right there you'll see the line going perpendicular, and that tells us that's the center. So I'm going to click into there, and I'm going to do a circle that size. I'm just going to do a series of circles to start me off. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is use the dimension tool to say that I want the distance between these circles to be, I'm going to do it as 6, because I know on the router that the size of the router bit will be 6 mil. I'm going to plan for that by making each of the difference between these lines 6 mil, and that will make it even more accurate when we get there. I'm going to add a few more, and we'll go from there. So they're all evenly spaced out now. And once I've done that, I'm going to hit the escape button and actually delete all of these dimensions, because sometimes when you put a dimension on, it constrains the drawing, and when we try and manipulate in 3D later on, it can sometimes cause problems. So it's good to delete them sometimes. And now then, I'm going to join, I'm going to make some channels now by doing some simple lines like this. And I'm going to use the trim tool and trim the lines that I don't need. Now it's very important that any small lines you have like this, that you get rid of it. Everything needs to be nice and tidy, and with your maze. So you can see now how I'm going to start to use just the line tool and the trim tool to try and shape my maze game. So I'm going to plan it out with my maze design. My ball starts over here, so I'm actually going to put a small circle in the corner. With path joining. Joining it. If I zoom in here, any gaps like that that may appear will also be problematic later on. And so we've got to be careful with anything like that. So I'm going to delete that line and draw it in again. So you want to make sure that your drawing never has any gaps and always has some closed loops. So now I'm going to trim these parts. And there we go. My ball will be able to now travel through here and along here and into this section. And I'm going to just continue with joining up and making a series of channels connecting each of these circles. Sometimes it tries to snap to certain areas, assuming that's where you want your line to go. And if you want to be really precise, we can then dictate the distance between these two lines using the line dimension tool again, if you want to be really precise with it. And then I'm going to use the trim tool to cut out some of these channels. So depending on your design, you're basically going to be using a combination of all these line tools here and the trim tool to make sure that you've got your design set and that there's no gaps in between the lines and there's no overlaps in the lines either. So I'm just going to try and visualize my maze borders in here. It's going to come round, follow the path around here, down, and then it's got a few options where it can go. This will be a dead end, so it'll have to go this way, and it'll come into here. And I'm going to put a few more. Just what I'll actually do is have it like this, so then it has to find its way into the middle. So I'll just finish this off. There we go. And the complexity of your maze, obviously you can make the design decision on, but with this, just for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to end it there. So I'll get rid of that line as well. And now I'm happy with that. I'm going to finish the sketch, right click, finish 2D sketch, and then go extrude. And now, because I've made sure I've kept all my loops closed, if I select that, that is one closed loop, if you like. You may end up with multiple polygons or closed loops, and if that's the case, you can hold shift and select multiple. But with mine, it's got one whole path made. I want to go below the work plane, so I'm going to select below, and I'm just going to go 3mm deep. In fact, I'll go 4. Yeah, 4 is the size we need there. We're going to hit OK. And then straight away you have your maze complete. And it's extruded into your MDF. Okay, so the idea of my maze will be to get from the start point here into this middle part here. Okay. There we go.